Disclaimer, do not dox, spam, or harass, or cause any issues for anyone mentioned in today's video. Thank you. Hello, my name is NebulaPrimus, you can call me Neb for short, and today we have a juicy, sweet, amazing, dramatic topic about someone with the alias of xxmushroom.girlxx. I've seen Goatcatto make a video on this person, so my interest was piqued. So I decided to see what the problema was, and the first thing I saw was things related to the bi-lesbian topic. As far as I understand, the anger around this one is about the term lesbian being only attracted to females or those somewhat within the feminine spectrum, not men, obviously. Mushroom has made multiple comments discussing her beliefs on bi-lesbians. Bi-lesbian meaning someone who's romantically attracted to men and women, but only sexually attracted to women. And while I can mildly understand what Mushroom is trying to say, I also can understand how lesbians, I can also understand how to lesbians it feels invalidating. I personally am not a lesbian, so I cannot speak in depth on this topic. However, I do understand why it can be frustrating when two different labels are put together. As I've gotten older, gender and sexuality labels seem less and less pressing to me. Less needed when surrounded by people who generally don't care what you are, just you are who you are. But it's not like that for everyone, and I understand that. So I need to rewind to my 15-year-old brain again. I am 15 and I have blue hair, haha. Sorry. Anyways, but seriously, back then I feel like I would have immediately hopped on the train of, you're hurting the lesbian label. But then I have to take a step back and think, we take terms such as bisexual and pansexual and place terms such as panromantic and biromantic in front of and behind both of those all the time. It's been seen as perfectly acceptable. Most agree sexual orientation and romantic interest can be very different things, but then also adding attachment words onto already pre-existing labels can be misconstrued and almost harm those who choose the label within its original definition. Like I've said, I'm not one for labels, but I feel as though there is probably a better label for women who are only sexually attracted to women, but romantically attracted to men and women. I know we tend to get upset when we feel our representation and our sexuality freedom is being stabbed at by something else, but please remember, most of the time people are trying to create umbrella labels for a pre-existing one, probably just because they want some comfort for what they feel. I'm not sure taking lesbian and putting bi behind it makes that easy for anyone, though. I again don't think people are wrong for only being attracted to women sexually and not men, but still being okay with a romantic relationship with men. Because asexual spectrums exist for a reason. You can be romantically attracted to a gender without any sexual attraction to said gender. So it's not that crazy of a thought, honestly. But it's all a spectrum, and I know I'm going to anger some people. I am genuinely trying to word this as delicately as possible, because I do know the hurt of having labels misused and stabbed at in a sense. I'm panromantic demisexual myself. While I don't normally feel the need to announce the second half, I just felt the context was needed to prove I at least have some subtle amount of knowledge on the LGBTQ community, being I've been a part of it since I was about 9 years old now. But that's beside the point. There are thousands of labels and thousands more to come. Some agree with it, some do not, but at the end of the day, labels are nothing more than comforts and explanations to one's identity. There's absolutely nothing wrong with craving that comfort. So as far as my opinion goes, I rest my case at perhaps finding a different label for that type of situation. But my words are air to millions, and not everyone will agree. You're more than welcome to your own opinion as long as you do not actively try to harm others with your words. Thank you. Also, I just watched Crying Blossom's video, and thank you, that's exactly what I was saying. It's just a label. The concept is not the problem. The labels are meant to be a comfort, and if altering that label or adding to it causes a large amount of the community discomfort, why do that? Just make a new label so that everyone can remain happy and still feel validated. The tea. Okay, so the sexuality apart aside, let's get into the other stuff related to this person, but most importantly, who is this person? Mushroom Girl is an animator, artist, and commentary YouTuber with around 2.52k subscribers. When first entering the channel, I do sense a very obvious stylistic choice, and it's very appealing to look at. Mushroom joined YouTube in 2022 and had posted mostly animations and speed paints up until 2021, when she posted what seemed like an anti-cringe culture video about Friday Night Funkin', which was about a mod that gave the main character dementia, and people had been upset about it, thinking it glorified dementia. And while I don't think that's the case whatsoever, given glorified would mean it's put in a positive light, I do understand, again, it's a touchy subject, and some people would rather not touch it with a 10-foot pole. I don't have much to say about the video other than that. If I'm being honest, a lot of these videos are super hard to watch commentary-wise because she contradicts herself a lot and rambles on about things that realistically don't make much sense. I'm all for rambling, as I do it myself a lot, but I'll be the first to admit, so far it's just been continuous circles. One thing I would like to point out is that Mushroom attempts to compare being non-binary to being lesbian, the same standard of being a bi-lesbian, and while the concept of quote-unquote bi-lesbian is a valid one, the two comparisons do not click whatsoever.
Having these labels is very beneficial. I just think that the way that we kind of push people out of certain labels is just stupid. I think it's just dumb. Like, honestly, because these labels don't affect anyone. Like, they're literally just words that we use to describe certain sexual or romantic attractions. It literally does not matter. Now, with that rant aside, and I'll be talking more about that later, with my rant aside, I'm going to explain how this possibly could validate the existence of bi-lesbians. Now, I'm going to read this out to you again. Denoting or relating to women who are sexually or romantically attracted exclusively to other women. Now, something you may have noticed in this definition is that it says, women who are sexually or romantically attracted exclusively to other women. See how it says or, it doesn't say and, it doesn't say sexually and romantically, it says sexually or romantically, meaning that could mean that you could be one, but not the other. You could be a lesbian and be just sexually attracted to women, but maybe you're not romantically attracted to anyone, or maybe, maybe you're romantically attracted to men, or all genders, maybe you're romantically, you get my point. Sure, maybe some people don't read the definition that way, but this is a way you can, in fact, interpret this definition, and it says the same thing in the noun definition. You could literally, easily interpret this definition as meaning bi-lesbians are in fact valid.
Non-binary is a gender or lack thereof gender, and bi-lesbian would be asexuality. They are two completely different things. Comparing them to make your point makes absolutely no sense. The way they put it into their video was that if you can be non-binary and a lesbian, you can be bisexual and a lesbian, which really just does not make sense. And not only that, but the community has been okay with it. If the community is okay with it, that's what makes it fly. But when the overall community is not okay with it, that's when it does not fly. And that comes down to basically, when something fits in the community, it fits. The label sticks and everybody normally agrees that it's okay. When something stirs up a lot of tension in said community, there's no point to use that label when it genuinely does more harm than good. That's not to say we can't be inclusive to those searching for a label, but they can also have a label. Everyone can have a label. But at the end of the day, it's super realistic that labels will continue to shift and change. It just so happens that things as of right now are not appropriate to do so like that. Gender and sexuality are emotion-based things, mental things that obviously are valid things, but also deep things, I'm going to say things so many times, that constantly change and mold into new things. Some people will be confident in their identity from a young age to an old age, others won't. That's the fluidity of it. Things change over time, and that's okay. Now things are way different than they were 5 years ago. Some things are okay that they weren't used to be, and some things are not okay that they used to be. social constructs change, but it's clear as I can see that the majority view this label as a negative thing, and I see no real point to force a label that makes so many people unhappy when the simple solution would be to make a new one. Who knows, maybe more people would feel comfortable to use said label, and many would feel safer to come to terms with how they feel sexually and romantically. There's no reason to cause chaos. Not that I'm saying mushroom chaos is a bunch of chaos, but, you know. Other issues, trigger warnings. These things will be mentioned. Mushroom posted uncensored pictures of drawn self-harm, which, I mean, we've all been over artists doing this a million times over, so I won't get deep into that. Just be careful what you post on the internet is all I have to say. So, I keep seeing the topic of racism come up, and well, wouldn't you know, yeah, boys in ethnic studies class. Basically, for the past few months, I've been learning about stereotypes around cultures and different ethnic backgrounds. And yes, we did go over the African American cultures. Now, I can't say for sure that Mushroom Girl is from America, but she did mention a quote, joke about blackface.
We're not trying to cancel you, we're just trying to hold you accountable for your actions. But also, by the way, we're going to see you as irredeemable for the rest of your life because you made a blackface joke when you were 14.
By the way, this blackface joke was not racist in the slightest. It was like edgy, but like it wasn't as bad as it sounds. When you hear a blackface joke, you definitely think of something very, very offensive in your head, but it was not as offensive as you're thinking. Basically, I wish I had the screenshot, but, basically, somebody, out of spite, decided to draw my OC Adam as a black person, which, like, whatever, but I was upset because I was being, like, attacked and shit, so I just said, OMG, you drew Adam in blackface as a joke, because, it's an originally white character that was drawn to be black. That was literally all it was. And some people construed it as me drawing blackface. I'm not even joking when I say that there were people who were in the comments saying, MG drew blackface, because they, I guess misinterpreted what other people were saying. And it was a fucking mess, which is why I addressed it in this video. Also, I don't remember exactly what video this was from, but, this video was old, and I can tell because the way I talked in this video was fucking cringe. Also, I actually ended up apologizing to the person I made the joke towards, the person who drew the art. I literally fucking apologized to them, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned that somewhere in this video, or someplace where I've addressed this situation.
Trigger warning. The KKK quite literally used blackface to advertise disgusting things about the black community. It's not a new learned thing. This has been something we learn about in schools, even if you're not from America, I'd assume. Because they don't just do it in America, it's just definitely more demonized here, for the better. I did an entire project on it my sophomore year of high school and had to look at some of the most morbid and terrible pictures I cannot even show here or my video would be taken down. Needless to say, as much as I love dark humor, I'm a big South Park fan, I don't think that's an appropriate thing to be joking about. And you cannot make the decision of whether or not the joke was harmless, as you seem to be white or something other than a part of the community that you've basically just insulted. You do not get to decide what is offensive about it, but others whose families have dealt with the horror do. But it's not something I have the right to talk about as much because I am Native American. I am not a part of the black community. At the end of the day, all you had to do was apologize and not make a stupid joke like that again, but you instead tried to defend why you said it. I understand you probably are young, but that still doesn't change that you are old enough to piece these things together. You can't just call a joke about blackface edgy.
Also, I actually ended up apologizing to the person I made the joke towards, the person who drew the art. I literally fucking apologized to them, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned that somewhere in this video, or someplace where I've addressed this situation. So, that's fun. It's almost like I apologize and I regret making it. It wasn't racist, but I regret making it. It was stupid, it was edgy, it was unfunny. I regret making the joke. I understand how people could find it offensive, which is why I disagree with it now and have apologized to the person I made the joke to.
You clearly do not disagree with it now, given the tone you're using, as well as still trying to defend your words. You don't disagree with it, whether you apologized or not. An apology means nothing if you didn't even mean a lick of it. I don't think you're a racist, disgusting person. I think you're an emotionally driven minor who probably shouldn't be posting things you know very little about. A lot of this, in the end, is mostly just rambling about being angry nobody has forgiven her. But I think the main reason behind that is because, well, here's an example. Hey, I'm sorry about what I said. It's okay, I forgive you. Well, but like, I didn't really do anything wrong still. So you don't apologize. No, I apologize, you forgive me, it's fine now. But you basically took your apology back. Apology by saying you didn't actually do anything wrong. No, I didn't really do anything, see? What? That's basically the entire video. I'm gonna wrap up this video now because it's getting kind of lengthy, but I just want to say that I don't think Mushroom Girl is a bad person. I just think, like many young kids that we know on the internet, she just genuinely hasn't matured enough to fully comprehend everything. And the things she says, she's defensive about, which is fairly common with younger people. That's no excuse, however, and my advice would be to try to listen to what people have to say more often. Normally, when the mass majority is telling you something you're doing is wrong, it's probably because you are. But heck, maybe you're not in some cases, and in that case, do your research and have valid arguments to your claims, not just rambles in the same circles over and over again with no real justification other than, it's just a joke, bro, or, well, this is related to this thing because I said it is. You can learn about topics, and you can back up your info, but you actually have to put in the work to do so. You cannot claim things that you don't have proof for. I hope this video is okay. It's been a while since I've posted, and honestly, I'm slightly scared to post this, but I hope it goes over well. Please understand my videos are my opinions and you are by no means obligated to fully agree. Just think about what I have said and formulate how you truly think about it. Stay safe, drink water, stay healthy, and